I thought I'd come on and do a bit of an ad hoc conversation, or should I say, video post. Sorry, I'm new to this still. I will get used to it. Um, so my focus at the moment is on workplace bullying and just trying to give people information around what that could look like and what they can potentially do about it. So I will have something coming out tomorrow and later on today with regards to a proper formal video with 10 things to watch for with workplace behaviours. Um, but actually, I wanted to highlight also is I'm speaking to people who have left jobs or joined franchises who are now working for themselves who have corporate experience, probably more corporate experience than I do because I've been predominantly self-employed most of my life. And whilst I have gone in and out of work, obviously my experience is kind of watered down by the fact that I've been mainly independent. And when I speak to people about workplace bullying and toxic workplaces, it's amazing how quickly they can say yes, it happens, and then when you try and nail in further questions, they start shutting down and say, no, well, I can't talk about it, I can't name names, can't do this, can't do that. I have to protect my own living. Um, and there's a real fear about speaking up around what happens. People are scared for their jobs, they're scared for their livelihood, um, at the cost of other people losing theirs. Um, and they know they're part of the problem. Literally being said to me this morning, I know I'm part of the problem and I'm not really helping them with a solution, but I don't know that I can come on to a podcast and speak to you or speak with you about it, even though we're naming no names and saying no companies. We can leave complete branding out of it. That's absolutely fine. There's conversations because I've certainly found speaking to people, and certainly in my experience, this workplace bullying, this toxic behavior thing, the reason it's becoming fashionable to say it is because it's happening, but it's not becoming fashionable to actually be open and talk about it properly. That is still very much on NDAs. Well, there's a whistleblowing policy, but those whistleblowing policies feed straight back into HR. And if HR was, or the cultural problem came from HR in the first place, well, then it's not really going to go anywhere. It's just going to be, possibly filed in a corner away somewhere and never touched again. Meanwhile, another person is out of a job, feeling like they really did something wrong, when in actual fact they probably didn't. Um, and they had a hard time getting rid of them in the first place. So this person that's had to leave their job has not only suffered because they've lost the job, they suffered all on all the stages leading up to that job being lost. Um, and the other thing is, I don't see yet how this is a stable or productive way to run a business more than anything else. It baffles me. If this really is a thing, it must be costing an absolute fortune to go through the motions of recruitment, retraining, training, and all that kind of thing to be able to account for this, to say, yeah, well, this happens, it's all right. It doesn't matter that we leak money out the bottom because we're never making enough money on the top. But still, where's the humanity of that? People do have families, they have children, they have spouses, they have other relationships in their lives and things that matter. And so when people lose their job and then or they go through a hard time at work and it starts to make them become less than their normal selves, um, it has an impact on all those relationships, not just for that person, but for them relationships too. So it has a knock-on effect on all those other people too. Um, and yet we're just not willing to speak up about this and talk about it properly. It's all right saying, well, if you've got these accredited qualifications, you can go into the workplace, you can deliver this training, and that's great because now you know what you're talking about, and we can take it all, we can tick this box, we can say we're doing it for a couple of months, and everything then returns back to normal, which is what I've definitely witnessed happen. I'm pretty sure many of you that might start watching my channel will probably see happen too, and will have stories as well. But this is an invitation. So if you've got a story and you want to share it, and I don't care if you share it anonymously, or whether you come on and you're happy just to speak with me live, and then not name names or companies or anything, I don't care how you do it. But your stories are going to matter, and they're going to make a difference, and they're going to be the difference between your children going to work and not getting bullied, or your children going to work and being bullied. Um, and having to navigate their way through that toxic environment and that impacting their mental health. Um, and I want to say at the back of this, my background is health and well-being. I am a health and well-being coach. The reason I'm here doing this is because people struggle to sort out their habits, their lifestyle, their health, their fitness, and all this kind of thing, largely based on environmental factors. And the biggest environment that we spend the most time in is our work environment. So if that is a stress environment or it's packing up stress, it's going to affect our other behaviors, the way we communicate, and the way we do things for ourselves and other people, whether we become people pleasers in place of being able to do things for ourselves just because, it doesn't upset the apple cart that way. Um, and things like that. As a health coach, I can't tell somebody, you just need to go and change that. It's simple. It's not, because it's a society problem. Health and wellness isn't an individual problem. It's definitely a society problem, and it's one that if we're truly going to be interested in people being healthy and well and having good relationships and being able to move more and eat better without being sold a pack of lies by people just trying to sell their latest fancy product, then we need to start understanding where the causation is, and not just these little correlations that don't really add up to causation. Sorry, I'm speaking in circles now. I'm going to stop that because that's a bad practice as well. And I'm going to leave that in there because that's a bad practice that, again, I want people to become aware of, is people talking in circles and using languages that sounds really, really good and flowery, but actually misses the point, and can leave you down rabbit holes that don't actually get you answers. They just give you more questions. And actually, do you know what? We start needing some answers as to why people are struggling to stay well. Why are people losing their jobs when they shouldn't lose their jobs? Why are businesses getting away with stuff? And how is it people can hide behind legal stuff and policy and procedure whilst being morally corrupt? It really bugs me. And to be honest, as much as this is my business channel, I try to keep it completely and utterly separate from me and not personal, there's going to be personal things that creep in. And unfortunately, this is one of them. So as I try and build this channel and build awareness around what wellness actually looks like as an environmental thing, not just as an individual thing, I'll probably keep on interjecting with a few personal things that come up that I think is actually relevant to share, because it's that transparency that I believe lends a little bit of integrity, or gives more integrity to why I have this business in the first place and why I'm determined to make it a success. And it isn't just for me, it's for other people. It's for people who have children that are scared of losing their jobs. It's for people who are struggling to look after their children because they're scared of losing their job. It's for those children that are now going into workplaces and don't know how to navigate the toxic elements that are there. And they've seen their parents fall down because of the amount of toxicity in the environment, and they think it's normal. So they think then their issues around mental health is their issues around mental health, and they're the ones with a problem, and they are strictly not, in my opinion. So I just wanted to leave that with you. Thanks for watching.